Hello and welcome to Military Mantra. In this interview, we have today retired Commando Pradeep Sharma, who has served in Indian Army in 21 Para-SF. In this interview, we'll try to understand his journey of joining Indian Army, life in the Indian Army in 21 Para-SF, and various life lessons that he has learned over his service. So thank you, sir, for coming on this interview and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, sir.
So Pradeep sir, if you could tell us, how was your journey before joining the army and what motivated you back then to join the forces?
So Akash, actually, if I speak about my initial days before joining army, I belong to a middle class family, and I had a kind of sportsman's instinct since beginning. And wearing olive green uniform was always a dream for me since my childhood. But obviously, when I grew up and when the things was shaping up, my maternal grandfather, he was in Rajputana Rifles.
Okay.
So he actually pushed me, kind of, not too much, but I got that motivation from him when I used to see him in uniform and all those positive vibes that used to come from the gentleman. So that was a motivation factor, I would say. And I finally, I decided to join army when I was 18.
Okay. And so what was your motivation to join the Parachute Regiment?
See, if we talk about motivation, it was always like, I always wanted to join elite forces. I never wanted to be a part of a normal force.
Okay.
Never wanted to be a part of an infantry, or I mean, I'm not saying that infantry is obviously is a great regiment, and they're doing a lot of great things for our country. Similarly, other corps like ASC, Medical Corps, all these regiments are doing really, really fantastic jobs. But I always wanted to be a part of elite group.
Hmm.
So that was the driving force. When I joined Indian Army in Parachute Regiment, when I was asked for my parent unit, I opted for Parachute Regiment. But I won't say that because I opted for Parachute Regiment, I got it no. They had a set process in the recruitment center. So on the base of our performance during selection process, they allotted us the regiment or the units.
Got it. So if you could, also speak about how was the process of selection to become a paratrooper and later on the probation itself.
Process of selection. See, generally the process is based on your performance. How do you perform? They have selection criteria. Generally, what they see in a candidate is there are 4-5 things which they generally look forward. Number one, fitness, obviously. To join a para commando, you need to be physically fit, really, really fit. Number two is high level of discipline. So I do not know whether a lot of people know this or not, but during para commando probation, your discipline is evaluated on a very different level. Discipline also. Then obviously courage. So the correct definition of courage, we were taught during our commando probation. So the definition which we were taught was that when you're doing something with your strength, it is not courage. Courage is when you are performing, when you are drained out, when you have no energy and you're performing. That is courage. So courage during the commando probation, they see the courage in you, they see the endurance in you, and then most important thing is determination. How determined are you for your job? And it is very, very important. If we talk about para commandos, if we talk about their tasks, the difficult tasks, I never thought of doing things which I have done in Parachute Regiment. I could not Uh, Actually, if I talk about myself, I was not physically very, very fit, very, very fit. But yes, I had determination to join elite forces. We went there. We put in our uh, soul and effort into the training, and we were determined that I need to clear this training. So the level of determination is evaluated when you are doing your probation, and a lot of things depends on it when you're moving around with your troops. If you're not determined, if you're not determined, you will not be able to. Probably it would be very difficult for you to complete your task.
Okay.
And in Parachute Regiment, the delivery of task or the commandos for delivery of task is most important. A lot of things actually rely on that.
Got it.
And last but not least, professionalism. So if I think I am somewhere in corporate also, I have achieved, if I have achieved anything in corporate because of my professionalism, that professionalism came from my army days, because we were taught how to act professional and why to act professional. That was very important.
So for the initial training, you would have to go, I guess, for PRTC, right? PRTC Bangalore. And then from there, you would go to specific units which are allotted to, and there you will undergo the probation. Is that how the process looks like? Okay. So once you do your training at PRTC, you're allotted 21 para special forces. So we have seen a lot of videos out there in Discovery Channel on what happens on this probation for 4 para, and even some of the movies. So how was your experience when you went for probation in the 21 para? Any memories that you would like to share?
So like training probation itself was a different experience altogether. But there are a few things, like one thing I have shared with you, that physical, though I was not physically very fit, because I saw a lot of people much more physically fit than me. They couldn't qualify the commando probation just because of few things like determination, courage, and all those things factors were actually validated. And they could not. They were not. They were not actually found fit into those criteria. One important thing which I've seen during my probation was the way probationer were attached with each other, or not attached, but bonded with each other. So if you talk about any incidents wherein which actually encouraged me to join special forces, because during whole of the process it is always in on and off on few of the probationers' minds whether they should go or not. We could make it out, and most of those were not actually selected into the parachute because the factor determination was not there. But again, coming back to the point, I can remember one incident when one of the commandos, probationer basically, he was falling, like he was trained out during a 40-kilometer speed march.
Correct.
And we were around 20-25 guys who were doing that speed march. And we were given a timeline that you need to finish this 40 kilometers with certain weight and certain equipments within 5 hours and 30 minutes. So that the person who was drained out, people know that he was fit, but for some circumstances, for some reason, he was not able to, we found him kind of getting weak. So most of the probationers, they never thought twice about their timing, whether they will reach there on time, whether they can also clear or not the probation. They pushed him. They spent a lot of time pushing that guy, encouraging that guy. Yes, you can do it. So that kind of teamwork that actually touched my heart the first time. That yes, this is the team I want to work with. So I want to be a part of this kind of team.
Got it. Got
So
it.
apart from that, the entire training was like a different experience altogether, right? From the combat training to discipline, or you talk about anything. So that was uh, amazing.
Got it. So you spoke about, the word, the special forces. So we call Para SF, Marcos, Garuds, all of them as special forces. So what makes
Right.
them so special?
What make them so special? Actually, I think we have already talked about, like, they're people, they're the men, the people who are actually working in who are working day and night, and they're the quality of people we have in special forces that makes uh, force special. So in our parachute regiment, we have a well said line: the man apart, every man an emperor. So emperors are always so special. So they make them special. This is the kind of training we undergo, and that training makes us special. The people makes us special. Those people are special.
Got it, sir. So if you could, also tell us about the significance of the Maroon Beret and the Balidan badge that is given to every special force operator from the Parachute Regiment.
Significance of Maroon Beret and Balidan. So see, if you go around and if you look or if you study about special forces, I think Maroon Beret is the only thing which is common in all special forces across the world. And the Balidan, like, the significance is, like, I'll share with you one example that you would have heard of surgical strikes. Sorry,
Yes.
sometimes a word just missed out, and it takes time to catch that word back. So when if you see the last few surgical strikes, if you study those, or if you collect data about those surgical strikes, you'll find that those were the parachute commandos who actually conducted those surgical strikes. And whenever a task is given to a special force commando, by commando, I doesn't mean a single person. I mean a group of commandos. Whenever a task is given, that task, whenever they accept a task, they never think about whether they will be back alive or not. The only thing which comes to their mind is to how to accomplish that target.
Got it.
So the feeling of the feeling this thing of sacrifice makes them the special. And this is the significance of the Balidan, because Balidan, like the para commandos, never think twice while sacrificing their life for the nation. And Maroon Beret itself, right? Maroon Beret itself is a significant, yeah.
Got it, sir. So as a commando, if you could tell us, how does one ideal day would look like in terms of, routine, responsibilities, and role? Any ideal day?
So if I talk about the daily routine, see, apart from the most of the commandos, most of the special forces people, they are deployed in high insurgency areas most of the time, unlike other forces, because because of some technical factors. I will not disclose anything and everything here, but because of some technical factors, most of the commandos are deployed in most of their during most of their tenure, they're deployed in high insurgency areas. And there they need to, obviously, they are responsible for their own admin and everything. If we keep apart the admin, the daily routine is in insurgency area. Most of the time they are engaged in, search operations and for finding their prey, killing, all those things. Even when they are in peace for some time, most of their time is spent in trainings, rigorous trainings.
Okay.
For physical fitness, and then weapon training, then tactical training. Even when they are in, suppose a troop is in insurgency affected areas, and if they are not out for hunting by hunting, I mean for hunting militants.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are not out for hunting, they are definitely engaged in trainings. So during my tenure of 7 years, I have seen that we were either uh, engaged in any operation or we were engaged in training.
Okay.
So the rigorous training, it is an integral part of a commando, and that is very important also to me. I have visited my unit a few months back actually, and I've seen that the level of training they have elated is like phenomenal. Like every commando is now nowadays going through rigorous training every day, so that all those factors, whatever. So by training, I mean tactical trainings. What all situations they can they may face during a combat operation. So now by the time they have developed, the training has developed in a way wherein every commando is being trained for any and every kind of situation, wherein the response time of the commando should be as less as possible.
Sir, since you are also a paratrooper, so how was your first experience when you jumped out of an aircraft? How did that feel like?
So jumping out of an aircraft, like it was, I was always excited to do that. And I remember I did my parachute jump first basic course in Agra, and our instructor was Sergeant Nikam, very nice gentleman. And whenever we used to go for jump, just before boarding on plane, he used to ask, "Is there any volunteer who wants to lead the team, who wants to be the first man to jump out?" So during the first jump, I raised my hand, and he accepted my request. And there were 5 jumps, 3 day jumps and 2 night jumps. During second jump, I raised my hand. He said, "Okay, fine, come." During the third jump, I raised my hand to jump first. He refused. He said that we need to give chance to other commandos also. So it was I was always very fascinated for jumping out of an aircraft. Though when I landed first time, I came to know this is not that easy a task. So I need to take care of few things. But yes, it was always a good feeling.
Got it, sir. Sir, as a special force operator, what was your favorite weapon which you used to use?
Actually, when I was in army, we were given VZ-58. VZ-58 is a Czechoslovakia, the weapon from Czechoslovakia. And there were other weapons also, like rocket launcher, LMG, MMGs, and a lot of other. But VZ-58 was always a favorite because of the lightweight, because of the flawless operation, and it was an all-weather weapon. Like, doesn't matter because it was made up of alloy. It was not a iron weapon. It was not made up of iron. So it doesn't matter you take that rifle into the pond or into the water or anywhere, but that weapon was really fantastic. I'm really a fan of VZ-58, though it is not with in Indian Army as of now, but it was a great weapon.
Got it. So you told me you joined Parachute Regiment at the age of 18. So when you went for your first combat experience, so how was the situation, and what were the various learnings that you had?
So first learning which I had was to respect the experience. So like any other young chap, I joined the army with full of enthusiasm. And during my first operation, I was almost committed to at least kill 2 or 3 militants with my weapon. So it was I remember it was my first operation in Sopore, Kashmir, and I was actually I was appointed as tail and Charlie. So tail and Charlie is a person who comes who actually uh, who, who is actually positioned in the last of the row. The last person in the row is tail and Charlie, so that he can take care of people or protect people from any attack from the behind. So we were actually going through a jungle in Sopor, and suddenly we heard that yes, we have found 2 militants, and I thought everybody else is useless, and I am going to just kill those 2 militants. Just give me the way. So actually, when I heard that noise of firing, and it was only 3 to 4 seconds. When I looked back, I couldn't see anybody. Everybody has taken their, we call it in army art, the cover. But I didn't do that. And after, I think 15 or 20 seconds, I heard a sound of air, and I came to know that that was a bullet which passed just 5 or 6 inches from my ear. And that time I came to know that like it is very important to save yourself first and then kill. So whatever was taught to us in the training, that has a lot of significance, and we need to need to respect the what I called it, the experienced people who, and that operation was itself is a very good success. We killed 2 militants without losing a single person, or without losing or without much of effort, I would say, for Parachute Regiment standard. So the major learning was to respect the experience and learn from that experience. Nobody is useless. Anybody who is selected in a special forces has that level of intelligence, courage, and everything which is actually required.
Got it, sir. So because you spoke about, the importance of training also. So what do you think the amount of training that you do, does it, really help you a lot in combat, or do you feel every combat situation that you have been into is actually very different?
Have you, Akash, do you play any game, cricket, football, or something?
Yes, I play football.
Football,
Yes.
So I'm not a football player. I played till some level. I played cricket also. I know a bit of cricket, but okay, fine. About football, when you go and when your coach teaches you how to play football, you are to me, what I can say, you are taught the basics, the shots, how to whatever technical terms you use, how to kick a ball,
the skills,
how to stop getting a goal, kind of. So all the basics are taught. Similarly, when we go through a commando training, we are taught about the basics.
Okay.
And those basics are not really basic. Those basics are very special and very hard to go through. But we are only taught about the basics, but every combat is a different. Though the beauty of special forces is that the kind of training we go through, our instructors try to go through maximum situations which we can face during a combat operation. But yes, it is not always like you cannot find every war or every combat the way you want. Because the enemy or the militant, they have their own set of skills, they have their own set of trainings. So Indian Army this is the kind of training that Indian commandos go through, and the tactical trainings are basically similar, but they are trained for how to respond to a situation and how quick to respond. These are the few things which are inculcated into all the commandos. So yes, in a way, the training is very important. But yes, every war situation is different, and all our commandos are capable of handling those situations because they've gone through that set of the kind of rigorous training, and that has been inculcated into them.
Got it, sir. Sir, since life of a commando is not very easy, so has there been any situation during your training or during your operation where you felt this is one of the toughest situations? So what was your mindset back then to overcome that situation?
Okay, so to me, this is one of the beautiful learning of my life after joining Indian Army. We never thought that the situation is difficult situation. Let the situation be any kind of, or at any we never let the situation be difficult or more than difficult. The first thing which came to our mind was how to tackle it. So since Army days, we have learned to tackle a situation, and which is helping us in corporate and civil world also. Even after leaving Army, whenever we come through any situation, we never get discouraged. We always get a kind of strength from it. Now we need little more strength to fight this situation, to overcome this situation. So I don't remember if we keep apart the training phase when a civilian is being converted into a commando. That time a lot of people, including anybody and everybody, they feel like this is really a tough situation. But by the time when we joined our units and we go through rigorous trainings, we are actually made. All these things are inculcated into a commando key. They don't never think that the situation is tough or easy. The only thing is, whatever the situation is, how much effort do we need to overcome it? So we evaluate, we put in that much of effort and overcome. That's not an issue.
Sir, about the 21 Para Special Forces, we know a lot of people who are very famous, and you've worked with them. So if you could, highlight some of the experience that you had with them when you were working with them or operating with them, be it Senegal sir or Subin sir.
So Senegal sir, actually, if we talk about Indian Army or Indian Army units, every unit has different teams and different companies. Like in infantry, there are companies. In Parachute Regiment, there are teams. So Senegal sir, because he belonged to a different team, I never got so much of time to interact with Senegal sir. I saw him fighting. I saw him playing. He was always a source of inspiration for us, for everybody, for every 21 para SF person. Colonel Subin, that time he was Major Subin. He was my team commander, and I know a lot of good things about him. And one of the incident I remember, the kind of training he used to impart with us was absolutely fabulous. One thing which I remember about him, that while conducting a training in Assam, in Numaligarh area of Assam, and that was a part of training only. And he actually tasked a brilliant troop of commandos for designing an ambush for northeast, the militants who belong to north, like Naga, Cookies, and all those. Those were very that was a major problem that time in northeast. So we were that was a part of training, and the commandos who were tasked. So I don't know whether you know about the technicality or not. There were two-sided and one-sided ambush. So the commandos who were tasked, they designed a one-sided ambush.
Okay.
Two-sided ambush, and They briefed it very well. That we have deployed this thing here, this thing there, and all those things with a very calm attitude, as he always has, and very firm the posture. After the debriefing, once those commandos were done with their comments, he simply said 2-3 lines like it was a useless this thing ambush. Because if you, and this is very important, if you consider this thing which he has said, that if you kill 10 militants and you lose 2 of your buddies, it doesn't make any sense. So he said, if you kill 9 militants without losing a single person in your troop, that to me is an achievement. And he actually taught us how to, he redesigned that ambush in a way when we were assured, it was very much visible that come what may, none of our troop member will get harm. We'll kill, and I'll not go into the technicalities, but because being a part of the troop, that we could see that how beautifully he redesigned that ambush, and that was brilliant. So I'm always a fan of Colonel Sudhin sir since then.
So since a lot of aspirants will be watching, they have asked me if they want to join the Parachute Regiment. So how can they prepare for it? For be the physical standards, be the probation. How can they mentally prepare and physically prepare for it?
Mentally prepare, Akash. There is no formula for getting mentally prepared. What I would say is that actually we have discussed in our previous thing is the determination. If you really want to join Indian Army, and the determination is important. If you're not determined, please do not try. Please do not try for special forces at least, because for special forces, I'm not saying it is very difficult, but it is not that easy also. It's not impossible, but determination is required. And it is the key of, you should not lose your hope, keep trying and be determined. It is not important, or it is not, nobody can assure you that you will be selected in first go or second go or third go. We have a lot of examples wherein people have they kept trying and selected in their 5th, 6th, 7th attempt. So do not discourage. This is do not discourage. Be determined. To me, it is the mantra.
Got it, sir. So currently you work in the corporate. You're CEO of an organization. So if you could tell me, any 3 life lessons that you have learned from the armed forces which you still use or cherish in your civil world.
Like courage. First thing is courage, which I mentioned earlier also. That nevertheless, whatever the situation is, and I have gone through a lot of situations. And the situation of an entrepreneur is also no less than a soldier. There are times when things are very low, you need to tackle a lot of situations which require a lot of skills, a lot of determination and everything. So so I'll tell you an example. I remember when I joined Parachute Regiment. At that time, because as I said, I was not physically very, very fit. And that time I was going through some physical issues also when I joined Parachute Regiment. In Bangalore, I was doing my training. There was some situation wherein I fall ill and I was sent to MI room. And in MI room, the nursing assistant and doctor, they gave me 5 or 6 tablets, huge tablets. They said, you need to take these tablets thrice a day. And I was a boy who was afraid of taking a tablet. since my childhood.
Okay.
It was a nightmare. If somebody says me that please take one tablet, I literally, people generally kids are afraid of injection. I was not. I said, please give me an injection. I will not take a tablet. So this was a situation. And when they gave me 6 tablets in my hand, and they say you will have to take this tablet, there's no injection. And because I was a recruit, I didn't dare to ask them for an injection also. But I kept those 6 tablets into my hand. I looked at them and I thought that if I'm afraid of these tablets, is it possible for me to go and deal with bullets? The answer was no. Okay, fine. Deal with these tablets first. This is the first step, and then you will probably learn more. This is the first step. This is the first learning you should take from Indian Army. I took all 6 tablets one at once, and since then I never. Generally I don't get ill so easily, but whenever I'm ill and I'm given even 10 or 12 tablets, I don't look at them. I just take in one go. Take all those. So this was the first learning that courage is very important in every part of your life. In entrepreneurship, I have gone through a lot of phases, and because of the learnings from our Indian Army, I'm sure I could able to handle those situations successfully. And I know I have a very good team as of now. We are doing really good, and behind that is a lot of behind that is things which I learned from Indian Army, and courage is that one of them. And then second is discipline. Discipline, like nobody questions. If we are joining Indian Army, the level of discipline in the Army is above anything else from any other organization. So that discipline also helped me a lot in corporate sector. Professionalism, as I said, we are actually now over. We are actually taking lead in our domain, and just because of our professionalism, we are leaving behind our competitors. We have a team of extremely disciplined professionals, and a lot of them are defense aspirants and defense ex-armed forces guys, special forces guys. So because of the discipline, that professionalism, we have achieved this level in the corporate, and we will keep doing that. So these are the few things which we learn in our Indian Army. Few of my colleagues learn in Indian Army. We're applying it into corporate, and it's not easy, but yes, we are heading towards success.
Got it, sir. So my final question to you would be, because a lot of aspirants will be watching this interview, what will be your message to all of them who wants to join the forces, be it Army, Air Force, Navy, or Coast Guard?
Joining Army is not easy and not impossible also. So my message is to, if you really want to make a difference in your life, please go and join Army. And for joining Army, you need to be very, very determined. Determination is one thing which is really required. Otherwise, it is not a low-hanging fruit. You cannot go and just pick it up and go.
Got it.
A lot of hard work. This is the basic requirement.
Got it, sir. Thanks a lot, sir, for your time on this session and sharing your experience and learnings from the armed forces with all of us. And I hope a lot of people who will be listening to us will get a perspective about how the Army works, and also from the Special Forces perspective. So thanks a lot, sir, again for your time. Jai Hind, sir.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you so much. Jai Hind. Thank you.